Hey guys, this is Eye of the Storm, first segment ever, first debut actually in the new year. And today on Eye of the Storm we got some very important topics to get to. Today we're talking about zone defense. We've got 20 feet, 1-3-1, 3-2. Got to just make a quick note right here real quick and teach you guys how to run them. You don't. Zone sucks. Zone is the worst defense. Zone is if you're lazy. If you don't like running, and I mean I'm getting out of breath just talking, I don't like running, but I do like playing defense and I like playing a man's defense. This is baby. You are Goo Gaga baby if you play this zone. Yeah, that bad. It is horrible. Do not play zone defense. It's lazy and it makes bad habits. Guys, stand around on defense, don't get to positions, and you give up easy baskets. I know resident Joe Lenardi over there thinks the 1-3-1 zone is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Let me tell you, it is not. Here he comes to defend himself, making his way over here. Can't move that well. His legs really, don't move like they used to because he used to run his own defense. Today we're going to be talking about time. More importantly, the shot clock. Let me show you how long some high school possessions can last. I think we all get the point. 1 hour. I mean, crazy. And calling some of these games, watching some of these games where teams will just dribble around, I get it. You're trying to do anything you can to win. Not calling out anyone specifically, any schools or anything like that, just in general in high school. You gotta have a shot clock. I don't know why there isn't one. It just speeds up the game, makes it a lot faster, and I think the fans would be pretty happy with a shot clock. Travis, what's your opinion? Do you like the shot clock?
Why don't you play defense?
Of course he doesn't like the shot clock. I do like, man. Hey, at the end of the game, it's a lot harder than it sounds, and I don't think that you should be rewarded for being up 1 point.
Honestly, it'd be good for you because you get to stand around and hold the ball like you want to.
This guy. JV, Mr. University kicker over here. All right. Lastly, on the Eye of the Storm, we're going to be talking about style. Fashion. I mean, how many times have you seen this Young Gravy hoodie? I am the walking definition of drip. If drip had a son, it'd be me. It'd be Storm. I am the drip, the rainstorm, the drip storm. Anyways, we're talking about the fisherman's beanie today. Look at this mop I got on my hair. Grease and just disgusting dirt and ball up here. Yeah, grime, balding. I'm balding at 21. Look at this widow's peak. What is this hairline? Then you put on the fisherman's cap. Oh, drip. Keep the ears out. You gotta make sure you aren't, folding out your Dumbo ears like how I have them, like this. Can't do that. Gotta tuck them in. Looks great with the glasses, the Young Gravy hoodie. I got black shorts on too. The full black outfit look. I'm ready. I'm ready for the day, ready for my game. So this look, coming to a game near you, probably tomorrow. My back. Yeah. Yeah, oh, my back hurts. All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for Eye of the Storm Week 1. This was kind of all over the place. Going to do some more research. Going to get some more fashion. Yeah, my MacBook's broken. Going to do a lot more research, get some more topics. You guys want me to talk about? I'm great at style. I like food a lot, pretty large. That's all there pretty much is to know. So if you need anything, Travis wants me to take the L back there, so there's that. If you need any other advice, just drop it in the comments. Other than that, it's been Eye of the Storm. We out. Nah, don't do that. Don't put that part in there.
20 minutes and 12 miles separate Shelby High School from Mansfield Senior High School, yet these two schools have played each other only 16 times on the hardwood. The Tigers hold a 13-3 series edge. The teams have played each other in each of the last 3 years, with Mansfield Senior winning 2 of the last 3. Shelby got the upper hand last year. They look for 2 in a row against the Tigers. They'll have to do that here at Pete Henry. It's the Tigers and the Whippets coming up next.
Here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go now.
We guarantee nobody else gets you closer to the action than our exclusive coverage. So give me a call, Brian Skoronsky, and let's make you a part of the game.
Lender, craftsman, dog dad. We're more than our job titles, and you're more than an account number. The personal attention we provide comes from a promise to serve you with respect and compassion. By being responsive to your questions and taking time to understand your needs and goals, we give you more than just a place to bank. That's the more you can expect from Park National Bank. Find John or a banker near you at parknationalbank.com. Park National Bank, where you mean more.
Hi, I'm John Mark Young, a financial advisor and owner with Whitaker Myers Wealth Managers. Whitaker Myers Group has been a local trusted advisor since 1869, serving families in Ashland, Richland, and Wayne counties. We believe in the financial freedom and power of living debt-free. With offices in Ashland, Mansfield, Worcester, Columbus, and South Carolina, we have advisors that are ready to help you begin your journey to financial success. Visit our website at www.whitakerwealth.com to learn more and schedule a meeting.
And where? What do you say? The exclamation point on the night for Maurice Ware. To our latest edition of the North Central State College pregame show. It's the Tigers of Mansfield Senior against the Shelby Whippets. I am Brian Harder along with Greg Collins, and tonight the Tigers look to snap a 5-game losing streak. They've really had some strange luck this season. They've had some injuries, they've had some youth, they've had some inconsistency, and so you would think they would want to play a little bit easier opponent tonight, but they're playing one of the better teams in North Central Ohio.
Well, there's a Martin RPI. We're all familiar with RPI that ranks the college athletics, various sports. There's a Martin RPI for Ohio. And in Division II basketball, Martin RPI has Akron St. Vincent St. Mary's playing the toughest Division II schedule. You can see that as they play a lot of D1 schools, Cincinnati Moeller, a lot of the good teams. But Mansfield Senior is number 2, and it's because of playing opponents like this in the non-league. They have a tough schedule.
Shelby is 12-3 overall. They are 8-1 in the Mid-Ohio Athletic Conference. They are tied for first place with River Valley. Shelby traveled to Marion Pleasant last Thursday, defeated the Spartans 67-51. Then on Saturday, they hosted Marion Harding and won 63-54. Alex Bruscotter scored a game-high 24 in the Harding win, followed by Isaiah Ramsey with 16, Andre Hill with 13. We saw Shelby not too long ago play against a very good Ashland team, and the player that impressed me was Andre Hill.
Well, they have a very good basketball team. Andre Hill is one of the great players. The one difference when you look at scoring between the two teams, Mansfield Senior has Maurice Ware, and then nobody else that's really averaging more than 6 points a game. Shelby's got Bruckstotter that's averaging close to 20 points a game, comparable to Maurice Ware. But then they have 2 or 3 kids that are averaging in double figures, Andre Hill being one that any night can go off and score 20. He's averaging 12.4. A good athlete, a good basketball player.
Greg Galloway, in his first season as the Tigers or the Shelby head coach, he wants to get out. He feels the keys for tonight's game is they want to get out and they want to outrun the Tigers.
Well, in years past, that's something that's been very, very difficult to do, but that's something Shelby has done quite well over the last couple of years, and they're better when they get out and run. They're a 29% three-point shooting team, so they're better when they can get the ball to the basket. How do you get to the ball to the basket? Well, you beat the opposition down the floor. So whether it's off forcing turnovers, transition, get down the floor in a hurry and get a good look.
On the other side, Mansfield Senior, they have struggled. They are 4-10. They started the season with wins over West Holmes, or over Worcester and Lima Senior, and it looked like it was going to be an exciting year for the Tigers, but since then they have really struggled.
Well, you know, Lima Senior, who is a state-ranked basketball team, they go to Lima and get the victory. The last game that we had an OH report with Mansfield Senior, they took the number 1 team in the conference, Ashland, and took them to the woodshed. I mean, they beat them up. But besides that, you mentioned inconsistency. Well, certainly that's a team that has been very inconsistent this season.
They have lost 5 in a row, and they look to snap that losing streak tonight here as they host the Shelby Whippets. We're going to pause now for the playing and singing of our national anthem.
As well as the men and women who both gave us and defend those freedoms daily, we ask everyone now to please stand, remove your caps, and join the Mansfield Senior High Pep Band in the playing and singing of our national anthem.
Welcome back to Pete Henry Gymnasium. Brian Harder, Greg Collins here as we continue with the North Central State College pregame show. Now for the Tigers of Mansfield Senior and Marquis Sykes, the keys for them for tonight's game, he also wants to get out and run, but it starts with they have to be able to rebound the basketball.
Well, you know, and obviously they've lost one big kid, but, you know, when you're at 4 wins at this time of the season, there's not a lot of things that are going well for you, but one thing, if you can control the rebounding, if you can force the opponents to one shot, one look, and you can get multiple looks when you're at the offensive end, that gives you a chance to be in the basketball game and to come out with a victory. and they have some kids. Maurice Ware has the potential to be an outstanding offensive rebounder especially. But defensively, I really think, I agree with Marquise. They've got to control the boards, but then I think they need to get the ball out, and they've got to create some easy baskets for themselves.
The one there at the top, one day at a time, was something that he really stressed to me. They're not thinking about the postseason. They're not thinking about anything else. They're talking about just taking it one practice at a time, one game at a time, one day at a time, and just building each and every day and getting better.
Well, and that goes back to the days when Marquise was a player. He was the type of guy, he was such a great leader. He's still a great leader, such a great basketball player. The players responded to him because he never looked too far ahead. He was always concerned with the process. You can't worry about what's going to happen Friday night or Saturday night. What you can handle is the process, working up to it. And it is. It's just one day at a time, trying to get better, trying to improve your deficiencies, and preparing for your opponent.
Let's take a look at the starting lineups. First of all, for the Shelby Whippets, under the direction of head coach Greg Galloway in his first season, he has led them to 3 straight wins. The starting backcourt, and this is a solid backcourt. Andre Hill averages 12.5 points per game, leads the MOAC in assists. Alex Bruscotter averages almost 20 a game. That's tops in the Mid-Ohio Athletic Conference. Marshall Shepard and Isaiah Ramsey. He's really pleased with Ramsey, who has come on as of late offensively and given them a lot of things to think about other than Bruscotter and Hill if you're a defender against Shelby. And Jeremy Holloway, the MOAC's best shot blocker and rebounder, he rounds out the starting 5, the 6'5 senior. For the Tigers of Mansfield Senior, under the direction of head coach Marquise Sykes in his 5th season, again, 5 straight losses that they will try to snap tonight. Kyvie Roan, the freshman, is in the starting lineup. This is his 4th start, averages 9 points a game, so he's giving them a little bit of offense. Brock Hill back in the starting lineup. He was in the starting lineup at the beginning of the season, averages about 3 points a game. The defensive stopper, Miles Bradley. Maurice Ware, their leading scorer, averages 19 a game, scored 21 against Harding on Saturday. And Amon Thomas, the 6'4 sophomore, rounds out the starting 5, averages almost 6 points and just over 4 rebounds per contest for the Tigers of Mansfield Senior. And this has been really, in talking to Marquise Sykes, you can hear the frustration in his voice, and he tries to stay positive, but he is really trying hard to keep these players focused and as you talked about, seeing the process and embracing that. One thing that is coming out of this season, a lot of young guys are getting some valuable experience.
Well, we're talking about a coach in Marquise Sykes that in his life he has been as successful in everything he's done. He was successful as a player here for Mansfield Senior. He was successful as a player at Morehead State University. Everything in his life, he has a beautiful family. Everything in his life has been positive. This right now has been a struggle, and it's something that I know that he's uncomfortable with. It's something that he would do whatever it takes to change. And I know that coaching staff, and I know that they're working at it, and they're looking to find what the difference is going to be to come up with a few more W's.
Now, one of the other storylines in tonight's ball game, one of the assistants for Mansfield Senior, Nathan Loney, was the head coach at Shelby last year and of course, led them to that big season that they had a year ago. He is now on the Tigers bench. He's helping a lot with defensive game plans and things like that. And Marquise told me it's valuable having somebody like that to help you prepare for a team as talented as Shelby is. And on the other side of that, I asked Greg Galloway about it, and he said the kids don't really talk a whole lot about it. They've kind of put that behind them. They are focused on what they're doing this year, and they're having an outstanding season, winning 12 of their 15 games.
Well, we had Shelby last year when Coach Loney was the head coach. We had him in at least a couple of times in the tournament, one being their loss in the regional semifinals where they were so close. I believe the game went into overtime, but they were so close, maybe a play away from winning that regional semifinal game against Lima Shawnee, who I know they won the regional finals, went on to state, but I believe they won that game, relatively comfortably. So Shelby was so close to going to Columbus last year.
Well, Bruscotter gets Shelby on the board first, right off of the opening tip. And if you're a defensive coach for the Tigers, that's not a good sign.
No, it's not. But again, pressing senior high, you've got to make sure you contain, because once senior high can get the ball out to Ware, especially with the ability to dribble penetrate like he just did, he's going to get good looks at the basket.
Bruscotter inside. He's now with the first 4 points of the game for Shelby. Now, I told Marquise Sykes, 2 of your biggest wins this year, we have been here. So if that happens tonight, you got to make sure that you take care of us.
Oh, exactly, yeah.
Brock Hill from outside, no good. And the rebound down into the hands of Jeremy Holloway. Bruscotter misses his first shot of the ball game.
The games that we've had, this is where senior high has struggled. When they get into a half court against a team that plays good half court defense like Shelby, they've had trouble running some sets, getting good looks. Though I'll tell you a statistic that surprises me. Mansfield Senior is shooting better from the three-point line than Shelby is.
Ware pulls up from the free throw line. Maurice Bradley unchecked and gets the offensive rebound, puts it up and in, and that's a good sign, seeing Miles Bradley getting some offense.
Well, it is. I think he's got less than 15, 20 points for the season, so any offense that he gives you is a positive.
Marshall Shepard with his first 2 points of the night. Shelby up by 2.
Shelby going to a diamond press. I don't think we saw that against Ashland. Something I think maybe they've just gone to recently as they prepare for the finish of their season.
Ware left open for 3. Down into the hands of Andre Hill. Shelby loves to get out and run. And Bruscotter with a hot first quarter with 6.
And he does a nice run there. Nice pass underneath for a basket.
Both of these teams love to get out and run. Hill throws up an off-balance shot. It's fouled. He is fouled by Brock Hill.
And that's what's enjoyable to watch. We saw a game on Friday night, Brian, you and I, where Madison and Ashland, they were getting up and down the court. It was a great game. Yeah, these two teams, they want to get up and down the court. And again, I think it gives your team a chance to get some easy baskets. They just have to be disciplined enough to know that if it's not there, pull the ball out.
Quick whistle away from the ball, and I believe this is going to go against Jeremy Holloway.
They called an illegal screen, so I think that maybe was on Bruscotter, wasn't it? That's number 1.
Bradley the other way for the Tigers. Roan for 3.
And he has shot the ball well since he was put into the starting lineup.
Making his 4th start.
Nice double down also.
And I know how much you love point guards, and I think Marquise Bradley is just trying to find that right guy. He's had Kerryon Lindsay up there.
Mm-hmm.
He's now trying Roan, the freshman, and he would love to solidify that spot in his lineup. Holloway gets his first bucket of the night.
Well, the point guard is he's going to be one of your leaders, like it or not. But right now, when you're a freshman, it's tough to be a leader of a basketball team.
Brock Hill off of the feed from Maurice Ware, and the Tigers take the lead 11-10. And Holloway the other way, and a foul is going to be called. That'll be called on Roan as he tried to draw the charge.
Yeah, I think that was a good call. I think he's got to step up, be there a little bit earlier, but Bruscotter on transition has just gotten out ahead of the defense and has been able to take the ball to the basket too easily.
This is a team that shoots about 75% from the free throw line. By comparison, the Tigers shoot 57. And Holloway now with 4. And the Whippets back on top by 1. Now we see Kerryon Lindsay into the game. So he and Roan in the lineup at the same time. Of course, the Tigers without Elias Owens.
Nice penetration.
And Emil Upchurch. As Bradley now with 4.
That's a good sign, as you mentioned.
So a big, smaller lineup on the floor for the Tigers. And Shepard pulls up.
But if you're senior high, that's the shot you want to force. A long 2 with a little bit of pressure.
Andre Hill, so smooth going to the basket on the left side.
That was not an easy shot. He was still going to the hoop, but he's still 3 or 4 feet away from the basket with pressure, but a nice soft touch off the backboard.
I asked Marquise Sykes who would get the defensive responsibility on Bruscotter. He said they would put a few guys on there, but they're going to start with Maurice Ware. Bradley misses. Said Ware is up for the challenge. He's the best athlete that they have, and he feels that they give them a pretty good matchup.
Well, I would agree with that. The only concern right now is Bruckstatter is beating him down the court and has been able to get the ball to the basket and has forced other players to rotate to help.
Nathaniel Haney and Jayante O'Brien now in for the Tigers.
Haney is a person that we've seen lighted up at times. He's an option that could score 14, 15, 16 points. He can shoot the basketball. As senior high looks for another offensive weapon behind Maurice Ware.
Well, Lindsay commits the personal, trying to take the ball away from Bryson Baker. Well, with Upchurch and Elias Owens out of the lineup, you really have Amon Thomas as your only size. Otherwise, It's a team full of guards.
It is, exactly. Even Maurice Ware at 6'2", is a perimeter player, but a good athlete.
Andre Hill puts Shelby back up by 1. But we have seen all season long, when they're clicking, they're fun to watch.
Oh, no question. No question. Nathaniel Haney misses the jumper, but he is good at a pull-up jump shot.
Here you see Ware guarding Bruscotter.
Good pressure on the ball here.
Well, we saw Andre Hill just really ignite Shelby against Ashland. Up ahead to Ware. He dunks it home for 2.
And that was forced by Jayante Bryant's defense. Great pressure on the ball, forced the turnover, and then Maurice Ware finishes.
Well, and we have seen that a few times this season. Maurice Ware getting out in transition and sometimes just even in the half court. Battle underneath the jump ball, and it's going to go to the Tigers. We take a look at the feed to Maurice Ware with the emphatic 2 points. Ware now with 4.
Now, I don't think that ranks at the top of what we've seen Maurice Ware do.
It has
He's
not.
had a couple of pretty nice ones this year.
Now, the first one was the most memorable against Worcester.
That was.
During a situation where most coaches would like to pull it out and eat some clock, he decided to drive the lane. And we've had that on our open and tried to give people as many opportunities to see that shot. It was.
Looks like Shelby is going to a little bit of a matchup zone here.
Ware for 3. Well, and this is what we have seen too. You leave him open, Bruscotter, with a shot fake at the other end, and he misses a layup.
Again, he beat us down the court, but you're right. That's a good sign. When Maurice Ware is knocking down a 3, And he has the ability. We've seen some games. Well, the last game we had against Ashland, he was hot everywhere. Standing threes, off the dribble, to the basket. He just had one of those special nights that, is the best that I had seen until maybe we saw Dembo last week.
Oh. Well, and what he and Denbo both do so well is they create their own shot.
They do. They certainly do.
They're both athletic. They both can get off the floor. Now, I don't know if Denbo can dunk the way that Maurice Ware can. There you see Haney with a three.
And we've seen him do that. We've seen him shoot well from the three-point line this year. And again, senior high has struggled over the season in the half court, but here's two big threes that's got to bring the defense out a little bit more. Open up some driving penetration lanes.
Well, and that's okay. That's a foul out of aggression on Jayante O'Brien. That's his first. And
that is. You're right. You want to play aggressive. It's so much easier for a coach when he tells his players to, hold up a little bit than it is trying to get kids to play harder, play more aggressive. The only concern, Shelby is such a fantastic free throw shooting team.
12 seconds to go in the first quarter.
Great pressure again.
Ball poked away, and the Tigers have it in transition. Shot in the air does not go, but the Tigers with a solid first quarter as they lead Shelby 21-16 as we head to the second. You're watching boys high school basketball live and free exclusively on the OH Report.
Lender, craftsman, dog dead. We're more than our job titles, and you're more than an account number. The personal attention we provide comes from a promise to serve you with respect and compassion. By being responsive to your questions and taking time to understand your needs and goals, we give you more than just a place to bank. That's the more you can expect from Park National Bank. Find John or a banker near you at parknationalbank.com. Park National Bank, where you mean more.
Hi, I'm John Mark Young, a financial advisor and owner with Whitaker Wealth Managers. We believe in the financial freedom and power of living debt-free. Visit our website at www.whitakerwealth.com to learn more and schedule a meeting.
Tigers up by 5 as we start the second quarter. Maurice Ware with 7 points in that first quarter. Alex Bruscotter with 6. Now, the Tigers lost to West Holmes last weekend, 58-54, and it was a similar game. They played well in the first quarter, and then Marquis Sykes felt the defense let them down in the second. And they do not want a repeat of that here tonight. Malachi Johnson off the bench with 2.
Now, Brian, when you look at their free throw shooting, you said senior high shoots 58% from the line. They have lost 4 games this year, or I believe 5 games, by less than 5 points. If they could shoot free throws like Shelby does at 75%, you would have to think there would be a difference in those close losses.
Well, in the West Holmes game where they lost by 4, they were outscored by 8 in the fourth quarter. Not sure how many of those were the front ends of 1-and-1s.
And I'm certainly not here to tell you that that's the only concern that Coach Sykes has, but tonight he's feeling pretty good about the way his kids are playing.
Well, so's Haney right now. He's got 2 threes, and the Tigers are up by 10. Ball tipped up and in by Bruscotter.
That was a nice needed tip. This is where senior high has been good. On the run, the open court. Maurice Ware takes it to the basket.
Well, and this has been the frustration for Marquis Sykes. This team has played well at times. They just have not been able to build consistency. But they tease you a little bit.
Right. Well, in the last two games that we've had senior high, tonight and against Ashland, what are the two games have in common? Both teams in both games wanted to get up and down the court.
Well, and we also saw this similar defensive effort against Ashland, and they took, other than Luke Denbo, who's going to get his points.
Right.
They were able to take everybody else out of the ball game, and that allowed them to beat a team like Ashland. There's a familiar face to Greg Collins sitting right in front of us.
Yeah, John Ellenwood, the head coach of Ashland University, is here, and they're having a great, great season. Right now they're in the middle of an NBA-type schedule. They played Saturday, they played Monday, they play again tomorrow, and then they'll play again on Saturday. But I'm sure he's here looking at various players, but one of them, Alex Bruckstatter from Shelby, he's already offered. Even though the young man's only a sophomore, Ashland has already offered him a full ride, and I'm sure he's here just to watch the young man play and to let him know that, hey, they still want him.
Ware kicks it out to Haney, who has had a couple of threes, who drives the lane, has it stripped away.
Good defense, and now they're out and running.
And the Tigers running in transition defense, and they come up with the basketball.
And a chance for them to run themselves, get down the court. Now that's good discipline. They're out and running in transition. They didn't have anything, so they pull it out, try to score in the half court.
Malachi Johnson can't finish, but you love that effort.
Exactly.
On the floor, diving for a loose ball, and we saw that a lot in the Madison-Ashland game.
And, you know, that tells me a lot. For a team that's 4-10, it tells me that these kids haven't quit yet.
Ware guarding Bruskcotter. Tough shot, and the sophomore gets it to drop.
That is a tough shot. Not only is it a 10-foot pull-up, but it's a pull-up over an outstanding athlete that's 6'2" in his own right.
The exciting thing about Bruskcotter, and people might forget this, he's only a sophomore. He's leading the conference in scoring, near the top in rebounding.
That's why Greg Galloway says to John Ellenwood, you might get him in a couple of years, but not till then. He's with us for a few more years.
Well, and I would venture a guess there's going to be a few more schools that take a look at him as well, as Miles Bradley goes to the basket, and he puts the Tigers up by 10.
That's big. I mean, it's got to be his high for the season.
Up ahead to Johnson. And the Whippets with some pretty good transition defense.
Now they have numbers.
Marshall Shepard has it blocked by Nathaniel Haney.
That's great hustle by Nathaniel Haney. He was back where the pass came from and busted his tail, saw an open shooter, busted his tail to get there for a defensive play.
Feel the intensity level picking up here a little bit. As we said, these schools have only played each other 16 times ever. And before the win from Shelby last year, and that was a game that TJ Pugh dropped 38 on the Tigers. Prior to that, Shelby had not beaten Mansfield Senior since 1957. I wasn't around then.
I wasn't around this area then.
Don't know what the holdup is here on the floor. Both coaches are going to be able to talk to their respective teams. Brian Harder, Greg Collins from Pete Henry, as the Tigers with a 10-point lead. 5:01 to go in the first half. And the official is over at the scores table. I'm not really sure what the delay is, but
our producer Adam saw something. I don't know what. Adam's got a camera on the radio station.
Well, on a few possessions ago, one of the players actually ended up almost in the lap of Aaron Hines. In fact, something might be broken. Now they have resumed play, and Shelby trying to cut into a 10-point deficit. The foul is going to be called on Nathaniel Haney.
And you could see that coming. You know, after the last block shot by Nathaniel Haney, there was a little chirping on both sides. And, you know, these are three experienced referees out here. And
well,
you
Haney,
can see
I think,
they want to get control of this thing.
I think Haney took a shot to the face. He's kneeling over in front of the Tiger bench. He's going to come out of the ball game. Basketball's a bit physical.
I don't know Nathaniel Haney, but just from watching him play, I have a feeling he's a tough kid. He just plays so hard. I've never seen him not play hard.
Well, the Whippets find themselves in a place that they rarely have been this year. They trail by 10. Amon Thomas into the game, and ball out of bounds, and it will stay with Shelby. I think Thomas stepped on the baseline.
And you're right, as you look down there right now, senior high not with a lot of size besides Thomas. It used to be when they had both bigs, they had 10 fouls to give. Now they only have 5 in the bigs.
Holloway can't control the rebound, but he gets the ball back anyway.
Beautiful pass inside for the layup.
Roan from the left side, inside to Thomas. And Thomas is going to be fouled. He'll go to the line.
I'm impressed with Roan right now. I mean, he's only a freshman. It's our first look at him. Here's another example where he penetrates on the left side. He draws a little bit of help defense, makes a nice post entry to a player that can catch it in the block and just go up strong with it for a chance for a three-point play. But a nice assist.
Amon Thomas completes the three-point play, and aside from the playmaking ability of Roan, he's also given Marquis Sykes a little bit of offense, averaging 9 points a game.
And as we've mentioned, and I think any Tiger fan knows, much needed to find a second and third score for this senior high team.
Marquis Sykes feels that the ceiling is very high for Roan. He did not even start the season getting minutes for the varsity, but is making his fourth start.
Nice move.
He had to work pretty hard for that, as Shelby played pretty good in the half court defensively. There's contact inside as Bryson Baker attacked the basket.
Mansfield Senior foul, number 13.
You know, we've talked about a little bit about the youth that Mansfield Senior has. Well, Shelby plays with some young kids too. Bryson Baker being a sophomore here. Ramsey, a key cog in this team, a sophomore, and of course Alex Bruckstotter, a sophomore himself. So both teams will have some kids coming back next year. But both teams are going to be missing some pretty good seniors also.
Yes, absolutely. Baker makes both free throws, and it's a 9-point Tiger lead. Haney. We're going to say the ball was tipped out of bounds.
Yeah, the one thing I would tell Mansfield right there is anytime a per player drives baseline, offensive player on the opposite side has to get to the corner for just that. With the defensive help comes, there's going to be a pass to the corner. It's going to be the only opening. Fortunately, ball was tipped out of bounds.
Ball passed inside to O'Brien, who draws contact, and he'll go to the line. Fouls on Brubaker.
And that was a nice cut by Giante to get the ball inside and get him a chance to go to the free throw line to make a couple.
Here's good news for Marquis Sykes. 8 Tigers have scored so far here in the first half.
That is good.
And O'Brien
Nice pass.
Tigers are now 3 for 3 from the line. It's blocked, and they're going to call a jump ball. The possession arrow goes to the Tigers.
But that shows you how good of a player Alex Bruckstatter is. He not only makes the pass, but he's down for the offensive rebound.
Tigers up by 9 as we're under 3 minutes to go before halftime. Roan penetrates inside. He doesn't get the bucket, but he's fouled.
Now you look at him and, you know, he's a young man he's built strong. He doesn't look like a freshman to me.
Had 8 points in the loss to West Holmes. He was 12 of 14 from the line before that miss. And the freshman splits the pair.
Defensive pressure, they come up with a steal.
Well, they didn't convert, but what I liked about that possession is O'Brien immediately looked to dish the ball inside.
Exactly. He knew he had a number situation there after he got the steal. It just didn't go through, but it gives Senior High an extra possession. Shelby's a team that only averages about 13 turnovers a game. I'll be interested to see at halftime what the turnover chart looks like, but I'm sure Coach Galloway can't be happy with it.
Well, Johnson had time to square up and puts the Tigers back up, and here come the Tigers again off of another steal.
Oh, nice jump stop, pump fake, and Coach Galloway needs a timeout right now.
Galloway not happy as the Tigers starting to run away with this in the second quarter. They've extended their lead to 41-24, and they're really doing it in a variety of different ways. They're creating offense with their defense. They're playing very good defense in the half court, and they're getting contributions offensively from a lot of different players.
Well, they are. And, you know, they're shooting the perimeter shot as good as they did against Ashland, better than what they've done most of the season, though I said in the pregame they are shooting 30% from the three-point line, which, you know, is not great, but it's okay, and it's certainly better than Shelby. But this is what they really like. They like to get out and transition. They're doing a great job of that, and they're causing some turnovers, which we have not seen them do much this year.
This has the feel of that Ashland game a few weeks ago where they just, I don't want to say they played the perfect game, but they played arguably their best game of the season.
Well, from what we saw, most certainly, against a quality team. We did not get a chance to see them play Lima Senior, but you talk about 2 huge wins at Lima Senior, state-ranked, at home with Ashland, who is in first place right now. Those are 2 big wins. They must have played great basketball against Lima. We know they did against Ashland.
Giving the Tigers fans something to smile about as the Tigers up 41-24, 2:16 to go before halftime.
Against the pressure, who do they give the ball to? To a sophomore. That shows you how much confidence Coach Galloway has in this young man.
Ball batted out of bounds, and it will go to the Tigers. And that's what Marquis Sykes was telling me. He goes, we just need that one win. We talked about the 5-game losing streak, and he goes, we get close. We've only had 2 games in the streak where we just really didn't play well. But he goes, if we can just get that one win to kind of get that monkey off of our backs.
Well, remember, he talked about one day at a time. Well, that's just worry about this game, and then tomorrow get ready for Friday night. And that's what's hard, when you have to come out and pressure Maurice Ware. Maurice is so good. He keeps the dribble low, a good crossover below his knees. He's a good athlete once he gets close to the paint, and when he finishes, he's just a dynamite player.
Bruckstatter now being hounded by Haney. And they call the reach on Haney.
Well, he was hand checking, and some referees won't let you hand check at all. Others will wait until you have an advantage. If you are going to have an advantage defensively by hand checking, and it looked like he did there, trying to hold Bruckstotter back, you know, you got to call the foul.
Haney comes out, and Miles Bradley comes in, the All-Ohio football player for the Tigers.
Who's having a very good night tonight offensively.
Bruckstotter now with 11. Well, while we've been singing the praises of the Tigers here in the second quarter, this Shelby team, they have the firepower to come back and win this game.
Oh, no question. With the style they play, with the numbers of scores that they have, this game, I know that there's nobody on that senior high bench that feels comfortable right now.
Tigers electing to slow it down a little bit. O'Brien for three. And Bruckstotter clears the miss, and then he's fouled as he tries to start the break.
Well, again, if you're Coach Galloway, I don't think you I'm not sure what the game plan was. You know, started the game with a little three-quarters court pressure. It looked like maybe a diamond. You know, maybe you get away from that. Senior high is so good at beating pressure, especially when you get the ball into Maurice Ware's hand. But continue just to play solid half-court defense. Good pressure on the ball as they had that last possession. Force jump shots with some pressure. Just don't let senior high get to the basket, which they have done quite successfully this half. You know they're going to score.
Bruckstotter's now 3 for 3 from the line. Make that 4 for 4.
It's interesting right now with the ball pressure that Shelby gives. Will senior high try to hold the ball here with less than a minute to go for the last shot? Or is that pressure just going to be too much to where it's going to force them to at least get a shot up early?
Andre Hill guarding Maurice Ware. Miles Bradley with a nice touch with the left hand.
Well, he's feeling it tonight.
Bradley with 8, and that's about 8 over his average.
Yeah, I think you're right. And then a great trap on the basketball right there. Good quick hands going after the dribble.
Miles Bradley, and I really wasn't kidding, Miles Bradley has scored 10 points all season, and he's got 8 here in the first half.
And I think he's feeling it, so I see him matching that tonight.
He's one of their defensive guys, and Andre Hill misses a shot. Here come the Tigers with 10 seconds to go.
Yeah, maybe shot a little bit early. It's going to give senior high another chance for the last shot. Give it to Ware. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit far out.
And Ware almost got it to drop. And the Tigers with a very solid first 16 minutes as they take a 45-28 lead into the half. We'll be back with the North Central State College halftime show coming up right after this. You're watching boys high school basketball live and free exclusively on the OH Report.
Hi, I'm OH Report founder Brian Skoronsky, and you've just enjoyed first half action live and free exclusively right here on the OH Report. But stick around, still plenty more to come right here as our boys high school basketball returns after this.
Lender, craftsman, dog dead. We're more than our job titles, and you're more than an account number. The personal attention we provide comes from a promise to serve you with respect and compassion. By being responsive to your questions and taking time to understand your needs and goals, we give you more than just a place to bank. That's the more you can expect from Park National Bank. Find John or a banker near you at parknationalbank.com. Park National Bank, where you mean more.
Hi, I'm John Mark Young, a financial advisor and owner with Whitaker Myers Wealth Managers. Whitaker Myers Group has been a local trusted advisor since 1869, serving families in Ashland, Richland, and Wayne counties. We believe in the financial freedom and power of living debt-free. With offices in Ashland, Mansfield, Worcester, Columbus, and South Carolina, we have advisors that are ready to help you begin your journey to financial success. Visit our website at www.whitakerwealth.com to learn more and schedule a meeting.
We guarantee nobody else gets you closer to the action than our exclusive coverage. So give me a call, Brian Skoronsky, and let's make you a part of the game.
And where? What do you say? The exclamation point on the night for Maurice Ware. State College halftime show. I am Brian Harder along with Greg Collins. The Tigers with a 45-28 lead over the Shelby Whippets. And if you would have looked at this game, and you know, we talked about last week how statistics can really show you a lot. Mansfield Senior 4-10, Shelby 12-3, but Mansfield Senior came to play here in the first half.
You know, I didn't think they could play any better than what they did against Ashland a couple of weeks ago. But this first half, they played better than they did against Ashland. They're playing well offensively. They're getting great looks. They're shooting well from the perimeter, and they're playing solid defense.
So, and again, talking to Marquise Sykes before the game tonight, he said that's been the frustration of the way this year has unfolded. Yes, they've had a couple injuries. They've got guys that are out for the year. You know, they're playing with a bunch of guards right now, but when you look at what they're able to do defensively with that quickness, you know, we've used this phrase, that's Tiger basketball. It's creating offense with your defense. It's getting up and down the floor. And what he's getting tonight that he normally doesn't get, he's getting offensive contributions from really pretty much everybody who goes into the game. And there's a Miles Bradley sighting tonight, too, at the offensive end.
Be ready for a triangle and two and somebody guarding Miles Bradley with Maurice Ware. But, you know, they've had a trouble this season causing turnovers. And the best way to get out in transition, to get easy looks, is by forcing turnovers and getting a number break. And they just haven't been able to do that consistently this year. Tonight, though, they forced Shelby into 8 turnovers. Shelby only averages, well, less than 13 for the game. So they're doing something to Shelby that very few teams have been able to do.
Well, and as we take a look at the halftime numbers, there's going to be some surprises here, especially for Greg Galloway and what the Tigers have been able to do. The made field goals, 18, 5 threes, none for the Shelby Whippets in the first half. You talked about the turnovers, and this was something that plagued Mansfield Senior early in the season, and they've really done a better job of late. Tonight, only 2 turnovers against a pretty good Shelby defense.
And the Mansfield Senior fans know, let me tell the Shelby fans, for most of this season, Mansfield Senior was averaging over 20 turnovers. That's their team committing over 20 turnovers a game. Now, it's gone down a little bit over the last couple of weeks, but tonight, first half, only 2 turnovers, and it's not like Shelby's not playing hard or playing pressure defense. It's just that Senior High, I think, is doing a better job decision-making and handling the basketball.
Individually, Maurice Ware with 11 points for the Tigers. Miles Bradley with 8. Russ Cotter leads all scores with 14. Jeremy Holloway with 6. And Andre Hill has been eerily quiet for the Shelby Whippets.
Well, Senior High for the most part is limited Shelby to one shot if they've been able to get the one shot off. So, anytime you don't get second chance points, there's going to be some players that are going to be a little bit quiet at the scoring.
And again, I pointed this out to Marquis Sykes. I told him, it seems like you guys play your better basketball when we're here. And he told me if they end up winning tonight's game, he wants us here for the rest of the season. So I don't know. You all have to make that happen. We're free.
Well, there you go. There you go. Now, unfortunately, we can only come to home games?
That's right.
Most of the road teams are under contract elsewhere, so they wouldn't want us anyway if we're
That's true.
The good luck charm for the Senior High Tigers.
Well, we will have the Madison game coming up next week, and we will also have the rematch at Ashland. So that is a game that I'm looking forward to. Unfortunately for Ashland, they lost their big guy in a game that we saw against Madison. He's done for the year, and that was a tough blow for them, losing a guy like Luke Jurjevic. I'll get the name out. Him going down to the third quarter, knee injury, he's done for the year, so they're not going to be at full strength. But Jason Hess is going to find a way to have that Ashland team ready to go as they get into the postseason.
I agree with you. They're well coached, so they'll find a way to make some plays. But losing someone like Luke is a big loss. He's a great young man, but you're talking about not only the third leading scorer on the team, a team that only plays, 7 guys. Now maybe they're down to 6. But the only player on the team with any size.
Right.
They're going to be completely different basketball team now, playing with just 5 perimeter guys and limited at the offensive end as far as offensive rebounding. We saw against Madison, Luke Jurjevic in the first quarter had 4 or 5 offensive rebounds himself. Well, now you're going to be missing that part of the game.
Now, we both have been in those rooms when they've had those tournament draws. My question to you is, do you feel the coaches are going to judge them pre-injury or post-injury when it comes to them as a potential 1 seed?
Well, I'll tell you it's going to be tough for Ashland because they're Division I. They play in the Northwest District. 98% of the teams, the only area team that will play that direction is Madison. So 99% of the teams are in the Toledo area, and they're going to stick with Toledo seeding. So will they take that in consideration? Yeah, but it's tough for an Ashland and a Madison anyway that has to travel up to Toledo to play the Toledo Loyalists up there. And it would be tough if Ashland even went undefeated.
Take a look at some of the highlights here from the first half, and the common theme here is the Tigers putting down the clamps on a very good, I used to be able to do that.
I'm sure you did, yeah.
Putting the clamps on a very good Shelby offensive team, but then converting it into points in transition.
Well, a couple of people that I have tremendous respect for that saw Senior High play down at Columbus at Ohio Dominican against Columbus St. Charles told me that Senior High was able to get out and run, but they just couldn't finish. They couldn't get the ball in the basket. And you're right. Tonight they're doing a good job of finishing.
First half, Tigers with 10 points in transition. Shelby with none.
Nice play. Nice set coming out of the half court, or coming out of the halftime. A backdoor play.
Holloway now with 8.
And I see Shelby right now trying to stay in the half court, force them to shoot shots with pressure. That was a tough shot put up right there with a hand in the face, and try to get the ball out and run.
Bruscotter pinned in the corner by Miles Bradley.
If you're Shelby, you're not going to get back in the game on any 1 or 2 or 3 possessions. Just make every possession count.
Tigers up by 15 here in the third quarter. Tigers looking to snap a 5-game losing streak. Bruscotter attacks the basket. He's fouled.
You know, if young kids could just watch how that play was set up. A very nice crossover, dribbling to his left, crossed over below his knees, making it difficult for the defense to get a hand on it, and then just got his shoulder past the defense and able to get the ball to the basket and draw the foul.
Bruscotter now 5 for 5 from the line. Shelby has yet to miss a free throw. And by the way, the Tigers shooting 90% from the line in the first half.
Again, we said last week, and I'll say it again, sometimes statistics lie. Tonight, they're lying a little bit.
Bradley from about 8 feet.
Now, that's a good shot. That's a shot that Maurice Ware can knock down, and mid-range pull-up is something that he's very, very good at. Good ball movement by Shelby.
Shepard misfires from inside, and Roan pushes in transition. Nice look inside to Ware, but he couldn't finish, and Thomas tried to get the miss, and he's going to draw the foul.
Yeah, he gets called for over the back, but that was a good run by Amon Thomas, getting down the court. And, he's a long way to go to get down there on that transition to get a hand on the basketball. And as you said early, that's something as a coach, hey, we'll take that. If you're aggressive, we'll take that.
Bradley on Bruscotter.
I was going to say, notice who's guarding Bruscotter now.
And I believe that is going to be on Bradley. That'll be his second. So he has 2. Brock Hill has 2. Haney and Lindsay, along with Roan, they all have 2 apiece for the Tigers.
But when you have Miles Bradley, you're hoping, because he's such a good defensive player and he can be so physical, that you're not going to have to give a lot of help. Now, he's defending a very, very good basketball player, but for the most part, he's going to be able to stay one-on-one with him, and we'll see if Senior High has to give help on Bruscotter.
Bruscotter now with 18, and it's an 11-point game.
And I think Shelby's got Senior High where they want him right now in the half court. Remember, most of those threes that Senior High hit in the first half were against the zone.
Well, Ware misfires, but Brock Hill there, and a foul, and I believe that's going to be on Bruscotter. That'll be his second.
And that was a good move by Brock Hill, getting the offensive rebound, not settling for an immediate jumper, but having a head fake and then using the dribble to get better position and drawing the foul.
Brock Hill, the senior. And I'll tell you what, you talk about watching somebody enjoy play football this year. Brock Hill led the Tigers and had an outstanding season. Of course, he had number 0 down there to throw the ball to. They were a pretty good combination. Shelby with another turnover. And
nice
up ahead
pass
to Brock Hill, who runs the floor, but it's blocked.
Better defense. Beautiful pass, better defense by Shepard.
And Bruscotter forced to pull up. And that was a pretty good defensive play by Maurice Ware, cutting off the baseline from Bruscotter. Now this is where the offense seems to kind of slow down a little bit for the Tigers. Hill left wide open for three. Bruscotter basically stood there and dared him to shoot it.
And, you know, it's looks like a nice jumper. It has good rotation. But if you're that open, you have to shoot it, don't you?
Well, I'm shooting it.
I know you are.
Ball taken away by Andre Hill.
That's pretty quick hands, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very quick. Ramsey for three in the corner.
Scoring has slowed down a little bit this half. Shelby certainly doing a better job forcing Senior High into a half-court offense.
There were 7 lead changes, all of those in the first quarter. Fouls on Marshall Shepard. That's his first. So Amon Thomas goes to the bench for the Tigers, and they go back to the small lineup. Ware attacks on the baseline, draws contact.
Well, he especially on the right side, well, either side, he especially likes to go with his right hand. He does do a very good job going left with a pull-up, but he is very, very strong going to his right. With multiple fakes, he was able to beat the man with his right hand and draw the foul.
Ware, a 58% free throw shooter, perfect tonight, 1 for 1. And he now has 12. He's got the highlight dunk. He's hit a 3. And the Tigers continue to shoot well from the line. Shepard attacks the baseline, and it trickles in.
That was a nice move baseline. Senior High was just too slow to match up that time. Too easy of a dribble penetration after a made free throw.
Ware thought about pulling up for the 3. Nice look inside to Brock Hill. And Hill is swatted by Jeremy Holloway.
Well, Jeremy Holloway at 6'5" is certainly the tallest player in there. Well, I guess Bruckstotter at 6'6", but those two guys are much taller than anybody else on Senior High that's in there.
He leads the MOAC in blocked shots.
Good defensive help that time.
And look at the hustle by Bradley, but it's knocked out of bounds.
First, a great steal by Bruckstotter, and then Bradley not giving up on the basketball. You're right, Brian. But Shelby does keep possession right here.
Coming in for the Tigers, number 10, replacing Brock Hill.
Holloway leads the MOAC, as I said, in block shots with 34. Second place has 14. That's how well he has protected the rim compared to everybody else in the MOAC. And a foul called on Bradley, and that's his 3rd.
Well, the way that Miles is playing today, they certainly can't afford to lose him.
Fans starting to get into it a little bit here on the, we're seated atop the Tigers side. Hill in the lane and puts up a shot, draws the foul.
Well, Mansfield Senior still wants to give ball pressure. You just can't get beat off the dribble. And a couple of times here in this third quarter, they have been beat off the dribble and forced to foul or give up an easy shot at the basket.
Hill, an 81% free throw shooter, has had a quiet 4 points tonight.
You know, I call free throw shooting so often easy points, and for a team like Mansfield that shoots 59%, maybe that isn't easy. But for a team like Shelby that shoots 75%, those are give-me's. When you foul them, especially when they're in the one-on-one bonus, you got to count that they're going to score the free throws.
Well, they have yet to miss tonight, and they've made it a 10-point ball game.
Which is the closest it's been since, early in the second, isn't it?
That is correct.
Little weave action going on with Mansfield.
And Haney draws the contact. That'll be on Andre Hill, his first.
Shelby foul number 1, Andre Hill.
You'll notice when Senior High does that weave, it's taking the ball from one side of the court to the other, and it's forcing the defense to move a little bit, which is opening up some dribble penetration lanes. Right there is a good chance for Senior High to attack.
Haney now with 7. He's hit a couple of threes in the first half. Haney a 78% free throw shooter. Averages almost 9 points a game for the Tigers. And the ball goes out of bounds, an unforced error.
Shelby's tired of just sitting back in that half court, so they come up and give a little bit of pressure. It looks like just a little token pressure.
Timeout called with 2:41 to go in the third quarter. It has been all Tigers, 49-38, as the Tigers look to snap a 5-game losing streak. And we talked about this only being the 17th meeting between the two schools, and you and I talked about this earlier in the week. Mansfield Senior used to be a large Division I school.
Right.
And their schedule really kind of dictated who they were going to play, and Shelby being a smaller school, there was really nothing for them to really gain by playing a smaller school, regardless of how close they were.
Well, exactly. And, you also looked at, as I said, about Ashland and Madison being in Division I and having to go to the Northwest District for the tournaments. Well, with Senior High, when they were Division I, you had to go up and play the city schools in Toledo, the Lima Seniors. So if you're going to go up and play those guys, why not play them in the non-league also?
It's one of the things that Greg Galloway pointed out when I asked him about this rivalry or perhaps the start of one, and he's excited about his Whippets getting over here and playing a team like Mansfield Senior. He said it's a great opportunity for them, and obviously last year they got that first win since way back in the mid-50s.
Well, and again, we've talked about this before. I don't understand in basketball where everybody makes the tournament, why you don't schedule as tough a non-league opponents as you can. Why schedule the so-called cupcakes? Schedule, test your team, even if it's a Saturday after a Friday night league game.
Well, and that was also something that Galloway pointed out to me. He feels that despite the fact the Tigers only have 4 wins, they are battle-tested. As you take a look at Andre Hill.
That was a nice catch. Very nice pass, but a great catch.
Galloway pointed out to me the Tigers' non-conference schedule, the fact that they play in the OCC. He said, they've only got 4 wins, but they're battle-tested, and it's a better team than their record would indicate, and they're playing like that tonight.
Well, they are, and again, I told you about the Martin RPI, had them ranked as the second toughest Division II schedule in the state.
Did that surprise you at all?
Well, it did. But I guess what it shows me is there's a lot of D2 schools that play
soft schedules.
Some softer. Yes.
Brock Hill at the line. He's got 5 and he's missed 2 straight now from the line.
Now, with all that being said, if you knew you were going to struggle like this, if you're Marquis Sykes, I bet you would like to have a couple of more wins in there somewhere. But they didn't play like this all season.
Maurice Ware with an offensive rebound, can't get it to go, and the Whippets force it up ahead in transition. Andre Hill steps back for three, and he has really struggled tonight offensively, and that continued on that shot.
He did struggle, but that was a good look. It was a 2-on-1 with the defense coming down the court, so step back. You had a chance for an offensive rebound if you miss, but, you know, again, a long shot's going to be a long rebound, and that one just bounces over the backboard.
Maurice Ware draws the contact, and I believe that's going to be on Holloway. That'll be his second.
You know, if the point differential stays right here at 9, I think Shelby overall would be pretty happy with that from how they had to come into this third quarter. But now that it is 9 with a minute 20 left, boy, would they feel good if they can get it to 7 or to 6 would be outstanding and put pressure on Senior High in the fourth period.
Maurice Ware misses his first free throw of the night. Amon Thomas checks back in for the Tigers along with Deontay O'Brien. One of the things they talk about in the tournament draw is they look at your schedule, they look at the teams that you have beaten, what division they're in. So you could go in with an impressive record, but if you haven't played anybody, that is taken into account.
No question.
Russ Goddard. That's a tough shot, and
is.
Ware comes down with the rebound.
Good defense by Maurice Ware that time.
And at the other end, he lays it up. He misses, but he'll go to the line, and he's a little tired.
I think he is. He's played a lot, and he's a young man that gets up and down the court. He loves the transition game, obviously, and, you know, the fatigue is going to set in a little bit. Fortunately, both teams play their bench, so there'll be some rested players, but Maurice Ware is one that you can't have out of the game very long.
I saw Nathan Loney say something to Marquis Sykes, and I got a feeling they're going to try to get Ware out of here within the last minute of the third quarter, up by 10, give him a little bit of a break here before the start of the fourth quarter.
And so many coaches do that. You know, you give them the 54 seconds or whatever the real time is going to be of the fourth quarter, and then also the quarter break itself.
Well, he missed the free throw, so they can't stop the clock. Poked at the ball and almost caused Shelby to cough it up.
Nice crossover.
Hill
nice
on
move.
O'Brien, and no, but a foul is going to be called on the sophomore guard from the Tigers.
And again, you know, Shelby is so well schooled. They're well-coached basketball team. Right there, Andre Hill does a good job. Again, a low crossover, beats his man to the basket, but not only does he beat him to the basket, he sees the contact coming, he leans into the contact, protects the ball on the opposite side of the body to give himself a chance for a three-point play the old-fashioned way.
Andre Hill makes the free throw after missing the first Shelby free throw on the night. Roan inside to Thomas, and up ahead to Shepard. Well, it wasn't pretty.
It wasn't. Now it is down to 7. Shelby's got to be happy. If I'm Senior right now, go for the last shot.
Roan to Thomas, and they're going to call an offensive foul on the freshman point guard. That's the third on Kyvie Roan.
And he'll learn. Again, the big key with it, he's a freshman.
So Shelby with a great opportunity here at the end of the third quarter to make it a 5-point game. Bruscotter drives, can't get it to go. Tip doesn't go. And the Shelby Whippets show signs of life in the third quarter as they trail by 7 here at Pete Henry, 50-43. We'll be back with the fourth quarter right after this. You're watching boys high school basketball live and free exclusively on the OH Report.
Lender, Craftsman, Dog Dad. We're more than our job titles, and you're more than an account number. The personal attention we provide comes from a promise to serve you with respect and compassion. By being responsive to your questions and taking time to understand your needs and goals, we give you more than just a place to bank. That's the more you can expect from Park National Bank. Find John or a banker near you at parknationalbank.com. Park National Bank, where you mean more.
Hi, I'm John Mark Young, a financial advisor and owner with Whitaker Wealth Managers. We believe in the financial freedom and power of living debt-free. Visit our website at www.whitakerwealth.com to learn more and schedule a meeting.
Shelby outscores the Tigers 15-5 in the third quarter, and Greg Galloway has to be very happy. This is what the Shelby Whippets want. They're within 7 heading into the final 8 minutes.
And they get a big defensive call here to start the fourth quarter, but, you know, Greg Galloway is obviously happy with only a 7-point difference, but also he looks up there and he sees that they're in the 1-on-1 the entire fourth quarter, and he has a team that shoots well from the free throw line, and here's an example where they're going to go to the free throw line.
Deontay O'Brien commits the personal. This is his third. And this is what I think Marquise Sykes was talking about. They just need to put those 4 quarters together and get that win.
Right.
And Shelby is threatening here as we start the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
But an uncharacteristic miss by Andre Hill. He's missed 2 of his last 3.
Shoots over 80%, you said, and Senior High getting a little lucky on that. Now they're going to spread the court out a little bit, trying to get Shelby to come out, open up some dribble penetration lanes.
Holloway on Maurice Ware. Ware drives inside and lays it up and in.
Good ball screen, and he just goes right around the big post player, Jeremy Holloway, and gets to the basket. Good patience by Senior High that time. Much needed basket.
Ramsey. And they're going to say Thomas stepped on the baseline. Isaiah Ramsey, who the sophomore for Shelby, had been playing very well offensively for Shelby in their last 3 games. He's been held scoreless here with 3+ quarters already in the books here at Pete Henry. Andre Hill, the long 3 doesn't go, but an offensive rebound and another opportunity for Shelby. And Shepard knifes his way inside, and it's back to 7.
And that's exactly right. He just knifed himself inside, and a nice pull-up short jump shot off the backboard.
Shepard now with 8. And Ware is going to be poked by Shepard.
Maurice is so quick with the dribble, and when he's out at half court, it's so difficult to defend him right out there. Again, there's a lot of time left. I'm not sure if Coach Galloway wants to come out and give great pressure. I don't think Senior High would try to hold it very long, but
well, team was perfect from the free throw line in the first half, not so much in the second.
4 on 2, nice move.
And Andre Hill finishes with the left hand. Hill now with 12, and it's a 5-point game as we approach the 6-minute mark. The Shelby team hasn't won 12 games by accident. This is a very good basketball team
that's showing a lot of fight. You know, a non-league game would be very easy just to give up, but they're showing a lot of fight here.
6:04 to go in the fourth quarter. Shelby making it interesting, down 52-47. I mean, they've been one of the premier teams in the area all season long, and they've got one of the more talented sophomores in Alex Bruscotter, and he has played well. He's got 18 points on the night. Andre Hill starting to get things going offensively. He's now in double figures with 12, and if there's a team that can come from behind it, we kept saying this in the Ashland game when Mansfield Senior was playing them, but it seemed like in that game, Mansfield Senior just kept putting on the defensive pressure and putting on the heat, and they've kind of laid off of that a little bit, especially in the third quarter.
Well, and also Ashland played 7 kids, and if I remember correctly, I thought Ashland maybe got a little tired there in the fourth quarter, where Senior High really didn't put it away until, the last 5-6 minutes of the basketball game. Shelby playing a few more players. But you're right. We came in talking about Shelby having, second, third, and fourth scorers, where Senior High hasn't had anybody but on Maurice Ware to score. Tonight in the first half, other guys contributed, not so much in the second.
Bruscotter from inside the free throw lane doesn't go, and Tigers will walk it up with 5:45 to go.
This is always a tough decision to make as a coach. Do you, with so much time left in a close game, do you really want to hold the ball? Shelby with a steal.
Andre Hill
Beautiful
misses
tip.
with the tip by Bruscotter.
Beautiful follow, beautiful tip.
Bruscotter now with 20, and it's a 3-point game as we approach 5 minutes to go. And Marquis Sykes is clapping his hands and praying that the time gods will just speed things up. Haney misfires, and the Whippets now with a chance to tie with a 3. There's no quit in this team, and you see the poise. Bruscotter inside, doesn't get it to go, but an offensive rebound by Ramsey finally drops. And the sophomore with his first 2 points of the night, and he pulls Shelby to within 1. And Marquis Sykes has seen enough. 4:26 to go in the fourth quarter. His Tigers have seen a double-digit lead through much of the night disappear, and it's now a 52-51 game. And you can read the body language from here, the frustration for Marquis Sykes.
Yeah, it is. They've become very deliberate on offense. We've talked about their struggles this season in the half-court offense. It looked better in the first half. They knocked down some threes. But in the second half, Shelby, playing half-court defense for the most part, has done an outstanding job. They've forced a couple more turnovers. They're getting rebounds and getting the ball out and running with it. And, Shelby just has everything clicking right now. They're scoring offensively, and they're defending at the half-court.
Andre Hill had a quiet first half with 4 points. He now has 12. But it's really been the defense, and especially in the half court where Mansfield Senior is forced to create offense. That's where they have struggled, especially in that third quarter where they were outscored 15-5.
And so far in this quarter, they've struggled. During this timeout, which I think is a good timeout by Senior High, do they come out with a set? Do they come out and try to play a little bit faster? That's what got them the big lead, was playing fast. Do they maybe, after a score, bring back the full court pressure, trying to speed things up? You see where they've spread the court again here. Again, the smaller lineup, spread the court, look for dribble penetration. They go with the weave.
But what I like is they're not taking the air out of the ball.
Well, exactly right, and that's a good shot by Maurice Ware. He can get into the lane, shoot a jumper. That's an effective shot for him.
Tigers back up by 3. Hill in the lane over Bradley, and Maurice Ware all alone for the rebound.
Transition, be aggressive. There you go. Nice
O'Brien
move.
inside, can't get it to go. And Shelby again with an opportunity to tie it with a 3. And they're going to call a block as Bruscotter went into the lane.
But I think this is what Mansfield Senior, I think this is what Coach Sykes wants. Let's get up and down the court a little bit more. That's what we've been good at for the most part of this season. That's what we were good at in the first half. Let's not let them put us into a half-court offense.
Bruscotter at the line with 20. He's been perfect from the line, and he misses his first one. Ball out of bounds. It stays with Shelby. See the ball poked out of bounds by Maurice Ware.
9 team fouls on each team, so they'll be, from now on, shooting in the 2-shot bonus.
Brock Hill now has 3. Miles Bradley has 3. O'Brien has 3. Hill, 4-3. Holloway backs in and cannot get it to go. So the Tigers hanging tough here in the fourth quarter, and they turn it over.
Nice pass.
Inside to Ramsey. Isaiah Ramsey now with 4. It's a 1-point game.
Again, Mansfield Senior trying to spread it here a little bit, give some dribble penetration lanes.
Ware drives inside. They're going to say the foul was on the floor. No, they're going to call it a made basket by Ware. The foul's on Shepard, and that's his 4th. Little continuation there.
Yeah.
It looked like the foul was on the floor, but they give it to Ware.
Now it'll be interesting. He knocks this down. Do they come up with some pressure? Again, there's still just under 3 minutes left. A lot of basketball to play. You know, you've been successful here in the last few minutes by going up and down. I think this is smart. Give some pressure right here, even if it ends up being just man pressure. Give some pressure. Try to speed things up. There's good, solid defense right there.
Tigers up by 4.
Nice
cut inside. It's out of bounds. It stays with Shelby.
I think that was Nathaniel Haney who just got a hand on the basketball, but it was, you're right, a nice cut. Good defensive play to knock it out of bounds. If you're Shelby, you don't need a 3. I know they've struggled tonight. I know they have some guys that can shoot the 3. If those guys get open, great.
Another opportunity defensively, and in transition, and it's almost tipped in by Ware. That would have been a big basket for the Tigers, and both Haney and Ware know it.
Yeah, I know that's one that both Nathaniel Haney and Maurice Ware would love to have back.
Well, and then Ware commits the personal to stop the clock, and then he sends Bruscotter to the line. Bruscotter with 20. What a good-looking sophomore.
Well, again, that's why Ashland University's Coach Ellen Wood is here. Just to show him some love. Because he's already offered. He already knows he wants him.
He makes both.
And now, I believe 2 is the closest. It's been to 3, but 2 is the closest. If you're Shelby, you can just play good, solid defense. Don't allow dribble penetration.
And Bradley tried to drive and kick, and it goes out of bounds off the hands of Haney. Haney wasn't really expecting the ball.
Yeah, and again, it's we talked about, I think at halftime, 2 turnovers for Senior High. Well, they've turned the ball over a little bit more here in the second half.
Look at Ware on the floor.
Great hustle.
And a timeout called by the Tigers. A heads-up play and a nice hustle play by Maurice Ware.
Well, it was. Not only did he jump on the loose ball, get possession of it, he first looked to see if he had a teammate coming. He didn't see one, so as he's calling timeout, Coach Sykes is calling timeout. Good timeout by the Tigers. That leaves them with 1 the rest of the game, where Shelby still has 3. Still a lot of time left. Again, we go back to what we talked about at the beginning of the game. for the most part this season, Senior High has struggled at the free throw line. Tonight they're shooting much, much better, but for the most part they've struggled, and they've lost a handful of games by less than 5 points where you would think free throw shooting would make a difference.
This would be a nice win for the Tigers, not only to snap the losing streak, but to give them some confidence as they get closer to the tournament. And Coach Sykes told me that's not really what they're thinking about right now, but you know it's got to be in the back of the players' minds.
Oh,
they know they can't play for a conference title, so they want to at least have some success in the tournament.
Well, I'm sure. And certainly they have the ability that they have shown that they can be good basketball team. There was a day that was an over and back, but not anymore with the rules.
Maurice Ware from 11. And Andre Hill with the rebound. Nice defense by Miles Bradley, but it's poked away, and Shelby gets it back.
Nice pass.
Ramsey ties the game.
Nice pass, nice look.
We are tied at 57, 1:29 to go. And the Tigers cough it up. The Shelby Whippets have gone up by 2, 1:18 to go. And a couple of costly turnovers here in the fourth quarter. And Shelby looking to escape here with their 13th win of the year.
And what a comeback. What the biggest deficit was at the halftime deficit. It was 25 plus that they were down at one time.
They were up 45-28 at the half was Senior High. Shelby outscored them 15-5 in the third quarter. Somebody better tell those girls that their team's winning. What a comeback by the Shelby Whippets. And if you're Mansfield Senior, you got to be thinking, what else do we have to do?
Well, right now, you got to figure if you're Senior High that Shelby is maybe not going to step back into a zone because Senior High did pretty well against that in the first half, got too many good looks. But they're going to play a softer man. You know, maybe good pressure on the basketball, but if your man doesn't have the basketball, they're going to be given a great deal of help. So if you're Senior High, you're talking about what kind of set do you want? Now, the most successful set has been Maurice Ware, if not able to get to the basket, with a pull-up. Maybe off of some weave action, but off of some movement, trying to loosen things up on defense, and then let Maurice Ware go one-on-one.
Here's Roan, the freshman. And they'll let the clock wind down as we approach a minute to go. The Tigers down by 2.
And here's where they want the ball in his hand. A lot of time left with a minute. Be nice to get a little bit more movement if you're Senior High.
Bradley attacks and scores and ties the game.
He's matched his season scoring, I believe, tonight.
He had 10 coming in. He's got 10 on the game. And Maurice Ware with a foul. That's his second. And what you don't want to do is send Shelby to the line.
Yeah, and I think Maurice was trying to get one there. It was a foul on the defense, and he was trying to get a call on his home court at Pete Henry, but the correct call. And you're right. You had tied the score. Your pressure has been good. I don't know if Shelby would have been able to hold the ball for the remaining 45 seconds. But now you're in the same boat you were in before. Down
Got
2.
26. And the lead for Shelby is 2. Haney with the left hand. It's blocked out of bounds. It will stay with the Tigers. Bruscotter was there defensively. And the final timeout called by Marquis Sykes, and the Tigers of Mansfield Senior with 30 seconds to go You're down by 2. You're going to get the ball underneath your basket. What is he looking to do here?
Well, I'm sure the first look is going to be Maurice Ware, whether it's coming off of the screen. You know, if they have good baseline out-of-bounds play, you're going to see it right here. Its first look, again, would probably be to Ware, but then you always have to look. You know, Shelby knows Ware is the guy. If 2 guys run at Ware, somebody might be open for a bunny. Make sure you get that look. But if you don't have a shot that you like right away, which I assume is inside 5-6 feet, there's a lot of time left. Spread the court, try to get it to Maurice Ware, let him try to do something with it.
Well, let's see what the Tigers draw up here. Down by 2.
If you're Shelby, you want that inbounds pass to go long. You want to guard the basket. You want to guard the lane area.
Shelby looking for win number 13. Mansfield Senior looking for win number 5.
Oh, I could see maybe a little cross screen and a little lob to Maurice Ware on this play.
Haney for 3. He got a good look. Ball poked out of bounds. It will go to Shelby. Haney got a good look.
Yep.
And I thought Bradley was going to come down with the rebound.
Good switch on defense. Good call for a timeout.
So now Shelby has to go the length of the floor with 25 seconds to go. And it's really, you don't really know who to foul because they're all very good free throw shooters. Andre Hill, 81%. Shepard, 71%. Bruscotter, 78%. Bryson Baker, 86%. There's not a weak link. You just have to stop the clock.
Well, you do. So first off, there's 25 seconds left, so you're obviously looking to switch any screens off the ball, the inbounds, trying to get a steal. If you don't go for a steal, maybe you're asking the kids, let's get one good trap, let's get a good rotation. If they throw it out of that trap, then you got to look to foul. Another option is to foul right away. Try to extend the game. We'll see what Marquise feels comfortable with, but with such a good free throw shooting team that Shelby is, being in the double bonus, I like the idea of trying to get a solid trap and trying to get a steal off that pass.
Well, now they're aware that their team is winning, or they're aware that the camera's on them. Shelby to inbound, 25 seconds to go. They go long to Holloway, and it's taken away by Miles Bradley, and they call a foul. Wow.
Well, you saw that coming. Now, was he a DB in football?
Yes.
I mean, he played that like a DB.
No, he played a lot. He was actually a defensive lineman.
A defensive lineman?
But he had 4 interceptions.
Oh, is that right?
As a defensive lineman.
Well, he played that ball in the air well. Picks up the foul, but Senior High is out of timeouts, so.
The lefty. And he can make it a 2-possession game with a make here.
If you're Senior High, you got to get down. You got to score in a hurry. It doesn't have to be a 3. Get the ball to the basket, score in a hurry. A 2-possession game, as you said, but get the ball to the basket. Try to pick up the foul.
Haney for 3. And the rebound pulled down by Ramsey, and that's going to do it. The Tigers had double-digit leads through much of the second, third, and into the fourth quarter. Well, actually, I'm sorry. They were up by 7 heading into the fourth quarter. But the Shelby Whippets just too good tonight.
And you commented, you knew Shelby wasn't going to back down even when they got down by 20-plus points, and they didn't. They battled.
Ramsey with a big miss there, but might be too little too late. He splits the pair. It's a 5-point game. Ware. And they don't even have to inbound the ball. The Shelby Whippets have beaten the Tigers for the second straight season. 64-61 is the final. We'll be back to wrap it up after this. You've been watching boys high school basketball live and free exclusively on the OH Report.
Here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go now.
We guarantee nobody else gets you closer to the action than our exclusive coverage. So give me a call, Brian Skoronsky, and let's make you a part of the game.
Lender, craftsman, dog dead. We're more than our job titles, and you're more than an account number. The personal attention we provide comes from a promise to serve you with respect and compassion. By being responsive to your questions and taking time to understand your needs and goals, we give you more than just a place to bank. That's the more you can expect from Park National Bank. Find John or a banker near you at parknationalbank.com. Park National Bank, where you mean more.
Hi, I'm John Mark Young, a financial advisor and owner with Whitaker Myers Wealth Managers. Whitaker Myers Group has been a local trusted advisor since 1869, serving families in Ashland, Richland, and Wayne counties. We believe in the financial freedom and power of living debt-free. With offices in Ashland, Mansfield, Worcester, Columbus, and South Carolina, we have advisors that are ready to help you begin your journey to financial success. Visit our website at www.whitakerwealth.com to learn more and schedule a meeting.
And Ware. What do you say? The exclamation point on the night for Maurice Ware. Time now for our Adena Corporation player of the game, sophomore Alex Bruscotter, 26 points, 10 rebounds. You guys played from behind through much of the night, and it just seemed like there was really no panic in you guys. Just talk about the mindset from the second into the fourth quarter and how you guys were able to maintain your composure.
Yeah, well, we've been down a lot of games, especially against like OCC schools. We were down with Lexington, we were down Ashland. I think we always do a great job of keeping our composure and knowing that we still got a lot of game left, and we can still make something happen. We're a really explosive team, and we can, like, when we play together, we're really tough to stop. So, we can go on big runs and come back in games.
Well, and that's what we kept talking about throughout the entire game, was the fact that, yes, Mansfield Senior came out and they played well, but you guys had that in you. If there was a team that really is built to come back, it might be you guys.
Yeah, I think our pressing and our ball pressure really helps us come back in games. Mansfield Senior, they played a really good first half. Maurice played a good first half, and we tried to lock in on him the second half, pack it in. They were hitting threes in the first half, but we took a little bit of a gamble and see if they could do it for a whole game. So that paid off, and also our ball pressure was better in the second half.
You guys are obviously down big at halftime. What was the message from Coach Galloway as you guys were in the locker room?
We need to come out on a fast start, keep chipping away the whole game. They're going to go on a run in the second half, so we can't get down about that. Just keep chipping away and keep chipping away. Try to wear them out by the end of the fourth quarter.
Now, you came out and you played a typical Alex Bruscotter game, and you got your 26 points, and you were able to play well offensively. But a guy like Andre Hill, who we saw over at Ashland, really came out and just from the start was hitting things from outside. He didn't have that tonight, but in the second half, when you guys needed some big points and some key possessions, he was able to step up for you.
Yeah, I think they were face guarding Andre the majority of the game. But Andre's a good enough player. You're not going to hold him for the whole entire game. So he stepped up in the fourth quarter big when we needed him. He had some big key buckets down the stretch. I think the biggest play of the game was when I think it was tied, and someone picked the ball up at half court, and then Jerem got that steal face guarding Maurice, and then we went down and scored. That got us up too. I think that was a big game. I think that was a big play in the game. I think that really helped us build our momentum.
We're going to try to get Coach Galloway up here in a little bit and talk to him, but just kind of talk about the difference in playing for him this year and Coach Loney a year ago. Yeah,
Gallo's definitely a little more chill. Loney's definitely a little more fiery. But, there's goods to both of that. They're both good coaches. I both respect them a lot, and I think they both do a good job. So,
was there any talk in your locker room at all about a little extra motivation? Coach Loney's on the other side and that kind of thing?
Yeah, there's always a little extra motivation, but I think, he's a good coach, and, I think we all respect him. So I think it wasn't, bad talk necessarily.
Right. So the tournament draw is coming up. Do you guys feel that you're in a position to perhaps get a top seed?
Yeah, I think we've had a solid season. I think getting a top seed would be important. I think the tournaments at Madison or Ashland. I think getting a top seed would be nice. See who we play.
Well, congratulations on a nice game and a big win, and good luck down the road.
Thank you.
Alex Bruscotter, our player of the game, 26 points, 10 rebounds, and we're going to get Coach Galloway in here. If we can get you to bring the headset over, we can get Coach to come up here and grab a seat. There's a lot of moving parts here. We apologize for that, but just go ahead and grab a seat there, Coach. Well, when you and I talked on the phone earlier today, you talked about coming into a place like Mansfield Senior and, the tradition that this school has, and you were excited about the opportunity for your kids to play. Did you see it unfolding the way it happened and the drama that you guys had there in the fourth quarter? Big comeback win on the road and all.
No, I don't think we planned it to be like that, honestly. But we knew, one thing was for certain, that we knew how good of a basketball team they were, despite, I know they have 4 wins right now as a program. But I think you were telling me, or Aaron Hines was telling me today about how many have been single possession games in those losses, and we knew we had a great challenge, and our guys stepped up, made some adjustments in the second half, and it was a great team win for our guys.
That says a lot about the character of your kids and your staff, being down big like that on the road, and you guys were still just able to kind of chip away and stay close, and then in the fourth quarter things just kind of fell together. What did you feel was kind of the turning point for you guys in the second half?
I don't know if I can pick one particular play or anything, but we talked at halftime. We're down 17, I believe, and we said we're not going to get back in this game in 1 or 2 possessions. It's going to take something that we got to key in every single possession, get stop by stop. We track a game goal with kills, and that's 3 stops in a row. We try to get about 4 or 5 a game. We had 0 in the first half. We ended up, get close to our goal in the second half. So it wasn't us looking at one particular play or possession at a turning point. It was just us, staying the course, being collective defensively and getting big stops and rebounds.
Alex got his points and was pretty consistent throughout the night, but we did your game over at Ashland, and Andre Hill came out and just played very well from the start. He had kind of a slow start offensively, but in the second half, he was able to get you some key contributions offensively. And you also mentioned Isaiah Ramsey to me earlier, and how he's played well offensively. He picked it up in the second half as well.
Yeah, speaking to Dre first, he's just our energizer on both sides. Our kids just play for him. So he's a leader with what he does on the court, and sometimes I don't even think he knows it. And our guys, when he gets it going defensively, I think our 4 other guys on the court kind of just connect with him and are able to get stops. But yeah, he's shooting 80+% from the foul line this year. I think we were 22, 26 as a team today. That's kind of been a backbone. We're able to get to the line a lot this year, and we're shooting at a decent percentage. And it's putting us in a lot of games this year.
Getting close to the tournament draw, do you feel comfortable that you can get a 1 or a 2 seed?
We're not really looking at that yet. We just tell our guys, when we look at tournament draw in our district, seeding and all that will take care of itself. We just keep worrying about one game at a time, and keep, our big thing right now is, we want to, our first team goal was to win a MOAC championship. So that starts again this week against Galleon at their place. Much improved team that's playing good basketball. So that's something we're really worried about right now.
Well, congratulations on a big win on the road, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks, Brian. I appreciate it.
First-year head coach Greg Galloway of the Shelby Whippets with a big win here at Pete Henry as they defeat the Tigers 64-61. We'll be back with the rest of our post-game show right after this. You're watching boys high school basketball live and free exclusively on the OH Report.
Here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go now.
We guarantee nobody else gets you closer to the action than our exclusive coverage. So give me a call, Brian Skoronsky, and let's make you a part of the game.
Welcome back to the North Central State College postgame show. I am Brian Harder along with Greg Collins, and a big win for Shelby on the road, a come-from-behind win. And I've talked to Greg Galloway a few times on the telephone, and then tonight here in this interview, he has remarkable poise for a first-year head coach.
Well, again, when they were down 20-plus points, I thought he was very poised. I know I wouldn't have been, but I thought he was very poised. And as the player and the coach both commented, they just wanted to stick to the game plan and thought things would work out to their advantage, and it did.
Well, and it's going to take them a long way, whether it's winning another MOAC championship or in the tournament run. And let's face it, the bar has really been set for Shelby with what Nathan Loney was able to do over the last couple of years. And he's handed the torch to Greg Galloway, and they haven't really missed a beat.
No, they haven't. They've done extremely well in their conference. They've done extremely well non-conference, beating Ashland, who's at the top of the OCC, and Senior High. I know they're at the bottom right now, but, Senior High, I think, gave them their best shot tonight and just fell a little short.
Well, and if you're Marquis Sykes, you just got to keep scratching your head and go, what do we have to do to put 4 quarters together against a team that they had in the second half?
Well, you're right. And I thought tonight Senior High played so much better when they were able to get the ball up and down the court. Shelby liked to get the ball up and down the court, but when Shelby was able to get back defensively and stop transition, stop the easy baskets, Senior High struggled in the second half, scoring, 16 points in the second half, 5 in the third quarter. That was the difference. I thought Shelby's defense in the second half.
As we take a look at the final numbers, Shelby was really outplayed in the first half by Mansfield Senior, but they it's a remarkable stat that they did not hit a 3 in this ball game, and yet Shelby still came from behind to end up winning this game. Well, these stats are not correct here.
Yeah, those are the first half stats.
Those are the first half stats. So,
but let's talk about turnovers, Brian.
There we go. There's the second half.
Overall, Senior High with 12 turnovers is something coming into the game Marquis Sykes would be very, very excited about. But remember, they only had 2 in the first half. 10 turnovers in the second half that Shelby was able to force and then convert those into easier shot opportunities helped make the run back into this basketball game.
Well, and Mansfield Senior was also 4 of 5 from the free throw line in the first half, and they were 10 of 19 for the game. And you do the math, there's a 9-point differential there. You lose the game by 3.
And we've talked about their struggles at the free throw line this year. First half, they shot the ball extremely well from the free throw line. Second half, not so much. But then again, from the field, their 2 points or their overall field goals, their threes, they shot the ball much better in the first half than they did with the second half. But in the first half, they were able to get out and run, and Shelby took that away from them in the second half.
Obviously, last year, Shelby had T.J. Pugh, and T.J. Pugh is a special player.
And Lance.
And they won 20 ball games. You look at this version of the Shelby Whippets. Are they a better team than they were last year?
Boy, I don't know. That last year's team was a special group. Again, they were, one possession away of maybe going to state. Certainly one possession away of winning the regional semifinal game and then playing in the finals against a team that Shawnee ended up beating pretty comfortably. So that was a very, very good team. Pugh and Lance were outstanding players, and they added, you add in these guys. Yeah, they were a year younger, but they were, I guess you would say, so-called role players that were able to score for them.
Well, and that's what Greg Galloway told me earlier in the season, is now guys like Andre Hill are being asked to score.
Right.
Isaiah Ramsey, his role has changed. Bruscotter's role has changed significantly, and now he is the scorer. And as of now, they are doing the things that they need to do, and they're getting the wins when they need them, especially in a game like tonight.
Right.
I learned more about them tonight than I think I did watching them over at Ashland.
Well, that's very possibly true. Talk about last year's team again. Last year's team, to me, I thought in the few times that we were able to see them play, played harder than anybody else that we saw last year. Their transition, their trapping, their rotating was outstanding. This year's team, they play hard, but I don't know if they play as hard as they did with last year's team. But, tonight they did learn something. When you're down 20-plus points, that's only going to help you down the road know that we can come back.
Well, with the win, Shelby is now 13-3 overall, and Mansfield Senior drops to 4-11. The final score tonight, Shelby 64 and Mansfield Senior 61. Our thanks to tonight's broadcast team. Our producer was Adam Thompson, and the fine camera work courtesy of Hayden Gray. Most of all, our thanks to you for joining us. Once again, the final, Shelby 64 and Mansfield Senior 61. You've been watching high school basketball live and free on the OH Report, powered by BS Media Productions. The future of local sports. For Greg Collins, I'm Brian Harder. So long from Pete Henry.